All right, welcome back. I have a new setup. I hope this looks a little bit nicer for you guys. Let me know in the comments, but we can't dawdle. I have tons of things to talk about. So much stuff happened this week. Virginia is just a complete mess, and I have no clue what's going on over there. That thing is just crazy. And then the Green New Deal thing came out, and conservatives and President Trump are jumping all over that. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that this week. I might make a separate video about the Green Deal for the main part of my content, my investing stuff. But, you know, for this video, it doesn't really matter because they pretty much all support that Green New Deal. But we have seen a couple of changes, and I want to walk you through the way that I see the field right now. So first of all, here's our field. So we have Biden and Beto over here haven't announced. Again, I don't think that Beto is going to announce for president. I think he's toying with everybody to increase his profile. In fact, there is now a market for whether or not Beto will run on Predict It, and I have no shares. In full disclosure, I have no shares. I bought it like at 25%. No, so if we're right, then double or triple our money. Anyways, so him and Biden are over here. Bernie has not announced yet either, but I'm almost positive that he's going to, and when he does, it's going to be like a huge tidal wave. It is going to dramatically affect the field, and so I still have him up here as a top tier candidate. But then the new entrants this week are Amy and Cory. All right, so I kind of have everybody grouped here. This is really, I mean, the higher up they are, the greater the chance I believe they have of winning. Of course, except for these guys, nobody cares about them, right? But you know, I really think that Kamala, Bernie, and Warren are probably your biggest contenders. Cory up there too, followed by Gillibrand, and then the rest of these people are just, you know, and all the people that I don't actually have on the board probably don't stand a chance. All right, but I also have them grouped in different groups based off of an interesting thing that I'm seeing this week. And let me walk you through it. So first, let's start out with Amy. So there was a story here about Amy. She announced today, and this week here was the story about Amy. She demeaned and berated her staff almost daily, subjecting them to bouts of explosive rage and regular humiliation within the office, according to interviews and dozens of emails reviewed by BuzzFeed News. That anger regularly left employees in tears. 4 former staffers said she yelled, threw papers, and sometimes even hurled objects. One aide was accidentally hit with a flying binder, according to someone who saw it happen. Though the staffer said the senator did not intend to hit anyone with the binder when she threw it. In fact, her behavior, according to reports, so bad that Harry Reid had to speak to her about it. She threw a binder at somebody. Like, that sounds like something that would happen in an alternative timeline where Mitt Romney became Secretary of State. You get what I'm saying? That's just crazy story. But it is also a hit job, and although this is something that has been talked about before, it is interesting that it is coming out now. All right. Elizabeth Warren, probably the biggest news story this week, and you've probably heard this one, but I'm going to read it anyways. Using an open records request during a general inquiry, for example, the Post obtained Warren's registration card for the State Bar of Texas, providing a previously undisclosed example of Warren identifying as an American Indian. Warren filled out the card by hand in neat blue ink and signed it. Dated April 1986, it is the first document to surface showing Warren making the claim in her own handwriting. Her office didn't dispute its authenticity. So here, this Indian story, I mean, it's probably never going to end. This thing very well could destroy her chances, and that is why she is not at the top. But again, it's just interesting. I mean, this was already a story, but why this week? Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. So I put her over here right next to Amy. All right, Tulsi. Now, Tulsi had an interview this week where she defended speaking with President Assad. She actually met with him, apparently. And in the interview, she said Assad is not an enemy of the United States. And of course, they very, very much dogged on her. And I didn't see any kind of particular hit story per se, but what I'm seeing on social media and Reddit in particular is this claim that Tulsi is like the Russian candidate. That this is the candidate that the Russians and Republicans are trying to use to divide the Democrat Party. So they're very much going after Tulsi. She does have a, what would we say, a kind of a dovish foreign policy. She's still very far left, I would say. But yeah, she's being attacked again over this. Of course, she had an interview, so it is expected. But this thing that's going on social media, I think, is kind of weird. So I'm putting her over here in this group with these people. All right, Kristin Gillibrand. So the story I saw about Kristin Gillibrand was on CNBC. Over the past 2 weeks, Gillibrand has met with a slew of financiers from a wide range of industries in her New York backyard, including those on Wall Street, according to people with direct knowledge of the conversations. Now, the way that this story is on CNBC makes it sound like she's doing really good in her fundraising, and like this is a positive thing for her, that it shows that she's getting funds. But in today's Democrat Party, is it really a good thing to be getting money from Wall Street? I don't think so. So that might be a hit job. In my mind, it's a hit job. And there was this too. I found this on Twitter. Senator Gillibrand was a partner of Boies, Schiller, and Flexner, the Democrat law firm that protected and enabled Harvey Weinstein and hired thugs to terrorize and silence his victims. That law firm is her single largest donor. So that was the hit that I saw on Gillibrand this week. I'm not so sure if it's a hit or not, but it does kind of seem like it. And that's why I've kind of put her in the middle here. I think that Gillibrand is kind of her own, on her own. She is like, really seems like the establishment person. So I'm not going to put her in with this group, but she did get attacked. And I'm not doing this to dog on all of the Democrat candidates. I mean, I absolutely love to do it. But the point here is, again, to predict who is going to win and understand the dynamics of the race. And what I see is these people all got attacked this week. It is February. Usually you leave these kinds of stories for later. It's weird to me. All right. So these two, what did we get attacks on these two? Well, so the thing that I saw this week for Cory Booker, you know, nothing really too big, but he did have a, he did defend the Green New Deal quite passionately, and he compared it to the moon landing, and some people were making fun of him for that. It kind of reminds me of Ted Cruz. You guys remember when Ted Cruz was running for president? He was trying very hard, and he was going around trying to talk to as many voters as he could, trying to create some sort of a moment that would show up in TV and boost him over the top. And it never happened. And in fact, those interactions actually started to hurt him, as people would mock and, you know, stand up to him and everything. And it never really worked out and diminished him. And really, in the end, what it turned out for Ted Cruz was that Ted tried too hard. Everybody saw it. He seemed fake, and that really hurt him. I see that in Cory Booker. I get that you want to be passionate about this Green New Deal, but honestly, it's getting dogged on so much. It is not something that I would want to bet my political career on, and to be giving such a passionate speech over that just seems kind of silly, and I think that it makes him look silly. So that's the problem with Cory, and that's why I have him a rung down lower. But really, no hit job per se on him. And what about Kamala? You know what? I honestly didn't really hear a whole lot about Kamala. The only thing that I heard about Kamala was that she raised $1.5 million the day that she announced. And that was actually just mentioned in passing in the story about Gillibrand. So really not a whole lot about Kamala this week. Which, if she's like the top contender or one of the top contenders, why aren't we hearing about her? Do you see the picture that I am painting for you guys here? Do you see that these people got attacked and these people didn't get attacked? The thing that's going to be interesting, I think, is Bernie here. What happens when Bernie announces? When Bernie announces, do we see hit jobs on him? And if we do, is it going to be the usual stuff like, you know, he wrote this smut and he's a communist and he likes the Russians, this sort of a thing? Or are we going to see new information, new hits from major outlets that Democrats like? That's the thing that I'm going to be looking for, to see if Bernie also gets hit. It seems to me, though, that Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, who we know are buddies in the Senate, may be trying to control the narrative of the race by slinging mud right out of the gate. It's just a theory, so I don't want to be conspiracy theory, but this is definitely a dynamic that I think that we need to keep an eye on and could matter later. Do we already see some sort of a schism in the Democrat Party between different groups? Anyways, that is the race as I see it today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about the new setup and the presentation. And also let me know who you're supporting right now. I really want to know who you guys want. Who my viewers want. And in fact, I'll make a deal with you. Whoever I see with the most support in the comments, I will buy campaign merchandise and wear it on the next, well, you know, when we can. I don't know if it would be the next episode, but I will buy campaign merchandise for that candidate and wear it when I do my analysis. All right. And of course, anything that I find that's funny or ridiculous that the candidates are putting out, because I don't want to look like Jim Cramer every week. So yeah, we'll do that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you again next week.